Hey YouTube, coming at you with a double beyond the hype here. So it is going to be Altaria and Crustle. So what happened was, I want to test out Altaria. I've tested out Regidrago, but Altaria has been no G since season one. It's always had bulk, but now with the quicker Dragon Breath, you're getting to the charge move faster. So you have the insane bulk here. You got that flying dragon typing I've mentioned multiple times now in the Charizard video yesterday and in the Togekiss video on Friday. Flyers are like kind of almost rare now in the meta, so I think having a flyer gives you a little bit of an advantage, especially double resisting ground and resisting fighting, and Altaria as a half dragon also resists fire, water, and grass, and what else does it resist here? I think there's those three. So positive there. Dragon Breath reworked, like 4 energy, 3 damage. Same type attack bonus for 3.6. The charge moves, when I used it, it's funny because when I used it, I'm like, okay, this is not bad. You're getting to 90 energy charge moves in 13 and 14. And I think what happened in my mind was, I think in the moment I was like, oh, this sucks compared to Regidrago, because Regidrago is doing 120 damage in 12 turns. But then I'm like, you know what? You got that different secondary type, and you got different stats. They're not playing this. They're not the same Pokemon. They're not playing the same. So I still think Altaria with this flamethrower for coverage is a huge improvement. There really was no reason to run like a Moonblast Sky Attack. It just kind of walled against steals. I mean, it was the best move at the time, but having that flamethrower is almost a must. It is, again, 14 turns to get to for 90 energy move, 1.64. It's not the best stats in itself because you don't get same type attack bonus on it, but I think just being able to throw something at steals is a positive, and being able to throw them quicker because Dragon Breath got reworked is strong. So then I was looking in, I know multiple content creators put Empoleon and Altaria together. So I'm like, okay, I'll just put those together. And then I'm like, I need a safe swap. So I go to PPoke, I organize by switches, and I'm like, okay, what's this safe swap? No, like I don't want to do Primate because it double weak to Fairy, and then I'm like, I've already got Empoleon, Dragonair double weak to Fairy, Corviknight I just had in a video, and then I go, oh, Crustle at number 8 with Rock Wrecker, and I know people wanted to test out Rock Wrecker on this Pokemon, so I'm like, might as well. Middling stats, 120 attack, 134 defense, 115 stamina, which means you could take some charge moves there. 1864 overall. Bug Rock, 3 weaknesses to 2 resistances. If you want a reason why you do not use this Pokemon, it is right there. Like I said, when I play the Pokemon, ideally you want like a 1 weakness for every like 2, maybe 3 resistances if you can. But being weak to 3 things, and those 3 things being rock, steel, and water, and only resisting 2, and one of them is normal, which is like almost non-existing, so that's just like body slam and stuff. So the typing, not what you want. Does have Fury Cutter, and again for 3.6, that looks familiar because we've gone over this for the last week now. But what that means is your X Scissor, only 10 turns to get to, which is good to have a 10 turn move, but it is more just to spam bait. 78 damage. It's one of those where Fury Cutter with same type attack bonus. Could you take out some Pokemon with 2 X Scissors? Yes. Can you take out any sort of middle to bulky Pokemon with 2 X Scissors? No. But that's where Rock Wrecker comes in, and Rock Wrecker is only a 13 turn move, and we just talked about how, you got a 90 turn move for 14 on Altaria. You have 132 damage move for 13 and 12 on Crustle, so it's a fantastic move. Now, the only problem with it, and it goes back to, it's nice to have this. This is why the bait move is important. You are never gonna, again, if it's a fire Pokemon, sure, you're probably gonna one shot it with Rock Wrecker. If it's not, and if it's just any sort of, even a neutral situation, 132 damage is not taken out, and your Fury Cutters are not going to put you over the edge. So almost always, even if you land a Rock Wrecker, you probably have to finish it off with X Scissor anyways. So to have that 10 turn move with that nuke is a nice combo there. But it does have its limitations with its weaknesses, and just Bug being resisted by like 8 typings in the meta just kind of makes it tough. So that was the thought process behind the team. Let's look at it in action. Again, Empoleon could be a safe swap. I think I go Crustle most of the time because I'm using Crustle as a safe swap and I'm using it as a balanced team, right? So would Empoleon as a shadow. Actually, I should put the shadow on. Would Empoleon as a shadow be better as a safe swap? Yeah, because I think in the 2 shields, I'm going to Metal Sound that down pretty far. I would still actually lose because of the Aura Sphere, but I would put it down pretty far. And Fury Cutter's resisted here. But this is what I'm talking about. So I get two X Scissors off, but it is a non-Shadow Marowak, and it lives 2 X Scissors. So X Scissors just... The problem with Crustle is if the Rock Wrecker is resisted, 13 turns I think is very strong to get to a move of that caliber. If it is resisted and you have to go double X Scissor, you're not going to have fun with this Pokemon. And this is looking like pretty close to a hard counter here. Had Altaria on a Fairy, a Ground on Crustle, and now a Fighter on Empoleon here. Have to shield up any potential move. Even Rage Fist is going to put me pretty much out. Then I have to throw before they get to move, but, you know, damage I think is done here. Tough alignment. I don't think I'm going to be able to come back from this. They let it go? Yeah, of course. Why not? Togekiss is going to out spam like crazy. Why are we shielding, man? What are you doing? You're wasting my time. I'm talking to Past Dan here. Past Dan is wasting our time. You know you're going to lose. What are you doing? Okay. And down we go. Let's try not to get hard counted this time. Okay, Altaria into Ferrothorn. So kind of an interesting one. Now, actually, it was interesting when you had Sky Attack and you were hitting kind of neutral with the Sky Attack and neutral with the Thunders. You're no longer hitting neutral. You're hitting double super effective. I'll tell you where you're not hitting double super effective on, Azumarill, and chalk it up to another catch. So what I'm going to do is basically reload that and catch here. Bubble is also resisted. Is Dragon Breath a legacy move on Altaria? I don't think so. I think that's probably just a Dragon Breath on another Pokemon that I forgot to turn off. Yeah. So anyways, because Bubble was resisted on the Dragon, I just basically got to move back and then came in here and took the move. And now you're seeing the spam and Ferrothorn comes in, but if they let me get a move off, it would still be neutral Drill Peck, so they're not going to want to. But because this our timer, I wanted to talk about this another time, but here's a good point to talk about it. Our timers were very, very desynced there, and that allows me to get back into this matchup pretty quickly with 2 moves, essentially. So the switch timer being 45 seconds does change quite a lot of matchups, and now they're probably going to get out too. Nope, not quite fast enough, and I already grabbed that. Did I grab the 2 shields already? Yes, I did, and that is going to one-shot. Azumarill comes back in at this point. Altaria, you've done your job. Where am I going to go from here? Oh, I know where I'm going. I'm going Crustle. But Bubble super effective and Fury Cutter resisted. I don't care. I want some Rock Wreckers loaded coming out of this. So I will shield, play rough. I will take these super effective bubbles, and they let me get the full down. I'm at almost 2 Rock Wreckers, and they top left, right? Yeah, I remember. Just let me Rock Wrecker you. Come on. Okay. Mirror Dragons. So Dragon Breaths are obviously doing super effective on each other. We're now getting to charge moves at decent pace. Thunder Punch would be neutral. I remember one throwing Aqua Tail. You know, it's early season, so I kind of mentioned this in my video yesterday. I don't care what your wins and losses are. Anything before your ELO, I don't even care what your starting ELO is. It all does not matter. You'll get a lot of easy matchups and you're going to get a lot of hard matchups. So anyone who does like, oh, I got a 15-game win streak with this team, don't care. So Altaria comes in. Nope. Tinkaton comes in. And Flamethrower chips to 50%. And I think once I hit that, I'm just like, I don't want to get farmed down for no reason. And I know this has Bulldoze, but I just wanted to kind of draw it. Like, not draw it out. Kind of draw whatever's in the back and not waste Altaria. So I get a Hydro. Gonna force them just to throw. I may not even shield. I maybe just force them to throw this Body Slam and burn some energy, knowing that Body Slam is, hey, one of the typings that is actually resisted. But you know what else is resisted? Rock Wrecker. So now these mud slaps, what makes Gastrodon so strong, if you saw my video yesterday morning, is one, not a lot of grass, but two, these mud slaps are still a good move. And they come in back in with Tink, so I'm going to go straight Rock Wrecker to try and take this out. Even though it's resisted, it's still 132 damage. So that takes that out. Goodbye there. And now, X-Scissor, only 10 turns to get to. Won't take out from this range. It will not take out from this range. But after a few more Fury Cutters, Fury Cutter 3.6 damage. Shielding up a Body Slam here. Getting to another Fury Cutter. A Body Slam from this range is resisted, so I don't even think it would take out. But you know what? X-Scissor does take out from that range. So there we go. Dedenne. Oh yeah, another reason I wouldn't use this team is Dedenne is a killer for this. I do remember actually outmaneuvering a couple of these. But yeah, Dedenne against a dragon, resisting the bug, and then super effective against the water. Just a terrible team comp here. Again, don't really care early in the season of whether all my team comps make sense. I want to test these Pokemon out to see whether you need to use them. So I did grab one shield there I grabbed one shield on the flamethrower, which is great. Probably gonna let go because you don't know what they're coming in with. And there we go, it's a Mud Boy. And two, I know Empoleon with a shield advantage can take out that Dedenne. So I'm fine with them burning a shield there and allowing Empoleon. Empoleon has to win this matchup. I'm going to let this go. I'm going to come in Altaria. I'm going to farm. If they throw a move, fine. It does not matter. If they don't, I'll instant swap just to save this, just in case I need it. But I need to basically two-shield this. These Thunder Shocks are really adding up here on Shadow Empoleon. But so is like the resisted metal sound. Shadow Empoleon, really hard-hitting, really glossy. Thunder Shocks are going to put me in the yellow very soon here. And there we are. I'm in the yellow, and they're going to get 2 moves. So I have to burn a shield, which is fine. I don't really want to take a lot of Thunder Shocks, but I do want to come out with a little bit of energy. I don't know what's in the back yet. So that is why I overfarmed a little bit. Fortress comes in. I am at 2 Hydros, but I need to try and save that Hydro for the Dedenne. So I do bank it. I get the Altaria. I get that Flamethrower. Double super effective on the bug. They do not get any farm. I've got a Hydro Cannon loaded. Hallelujah. I do not get the one turn leg. I kind of mentioned in yesterday's video. I think they fixed it. It seems like at least 19 times out of 20, you do not get the one turn leg anymore, which is fantastic. So Charizard comes in, and I had a good matchup against Gastrodon, but I know Charizard's probably just running Air Cutter, and I think it was running Ember. I don't think I'd be staying in if it was Dragon Breath. I am at a move. Yeah, it is Ember. You can see the not very effective coming, which is why I'm staying in, knowing Blast Burn's resisted, Ember's resisted. They can only throw Air Cutters, and I live a second one and gets the second move. So I'm going to take switch with the shield advantage or just grab 2 shields here. And they do end up shielding. I'm going to stay into, again, force them here. Ember's resisted, and Altaria is super tanky. So they're in a terrible situation. I will respect this potential move. Even it could be I think it could be a Blast Burn. I don't know. I wasn't counting. But do shield. Gastrodon comes in. Just going to chip this to put it for sure in X-Scissor range. Maybe even just fast move down range here, quite honestly. I could just shield up a Water Pulse and come into the Fury Cutter down here. And that is exactly what I'm going to do here. Yep, come out loaded. They do still have 2 Pokemon, so I got to worry about a little bit of a catch here. It's Empoleon in the back, which is unfortunate. Steel resisting every one of my charge moves. And it's a non-shadow. If it was a shadow, this is an easy 2-shot with Rock Wrecker, but it is a non-shadow, so it's going to live too. But then I just instant swap because it did take it to the red. Metal Sound down, so I still win, but there you go. Shadow versus non-shadow. Okay, Stunfisk is not good, but not terrible. Just because Altaria is so bulky and this thing hits pathetically. discharge is going to take, what, 3 turns to take out here? But it's going to outpace. That's no doubt. 14 and 28 versus, what, 10, 8, and 10? So maybe I'll get this off right before, or maybe they're going to get off. It's going to be close. CMP? Yeah, I guess 28 and 28. That would make sense. I was just hoping that, like, with the, or unless it's not 545, maybe it's shorter. I don't know. I don't know the counts on Stunfisk. But you know what? Took it to the 1 shield. Got it to the yellow. So even if they take me out here, that's okay. Crustle will come in. Fury Cutter is neutral. I might have to take a Mud Bomb here, but, you know, it's only neutral. Half bug, half rock here. So, does chip, but, you know, you got a little bit of defense or stamina there to help you out. And out comes Corviknight, so I will chip with the Rock Wrecker. This should put it within 50%. Yeah. And unfortunately, Sand Attack is super effective, but I'm just going to outpace to the move here because Air Cut is resisted and they have to go payback. And I'm just going to outpace. And they let go. What is in the back that they let that go? Drapion. And Drapion needed a bait here. So we CMP. And what we did was we just CMP'd on a crunch. So we both are going to take 10 turns to get to the next move. And I just showed that I'm going to win CMP with Empoleon. So this is just a very easy CMP win there. And Hydro enough to take out a non-Shadow Drapion. Okay, another Dedenne. So we'll try and play it out the same way. Don't think I'm going to be as lucky this time around. You never know. But unlikely to outmaneuver here. I mean, I saw... It's so funny because I honestly, truthfully, I blindly followed Home Slice. Who was it? Home Slice and Axon that had this combo of Altaria and Empoleon. And maybe I didn't watch their videos, but I definitely saw the thumbnails showcasing this core. And maybe they have a good answer for Dedenne. But even if they didn't, even if they have a good answer for Dedenne, unless it's like this isn't an ABB style team. They're using it as like a balanced core. What do you do against a Dedenne lead? You just stay in and then try and take it out with your next Pokemon? So this is what I'm... Never follow content creators, even though I just blindly followed content creators. But like, again, I followed them just because I saw it in the thumbnail and I was just going to use Altaria. I'm just like, okay, whatever, just use this core because I saw it before. But if I was actually team building on my own, I probably would have thought through that a little more. So I did put out a video yesterday from Z, who leaderboard legend constantly, going over his team building strategy. So if you want to watch the beginning of that video, it's the Charizard video. He goes over how he team builds using PV Poke. So you can check that out. It'll give you a good idea of like if you want to team build, this is how you try to cover all those weaknesses and how you team build. So Bullet Seed, Credilli. Yep, that's an appropriate top left. Third Dedenne on a team that can't handle it. So this time just instant swapping. So I'm playing this matchup all the different ways. Corviknight comes in. You know, Fury Cutter is very resisted on the Steel and Flying, but Rock Wrecker is a Rock Wrecker, right? So I'll live a payback, and they just may go double AR Cutter here. Because, yeah, and with the Attack Rise, a lot easier to go double AR Cutter. But I'm at a second Rock Wrecker, and this will take out if they do not shield. So they do shield. Grab my 1 shield here, and I make a catch on Altaria. Why am I basically just sacrificing this? Yeah, makes sense. I've got a 1 shield advantage now on Dedenne. So I can just get my Empoleon on it after. I was really kind of needing that chip here because now they're going to be double boosted. Oh, and I do still get the chip because Altaria, very bulky. That chip is huge. I'm coming in Crustle because I'm almost out of move. And I'm hoping that either they shield or if they let this go, that it's in metal sound range now. Yeah, I think I'm coming in here and just going to double shield and metal sound down now. And we'll have to just see what's in the back. I'm still pretty vulnerable here because I'm going to have to be shields down. Oh, okay. Force the second one. That's kind of smart. You have two options. You force that second shield or you just commit to the farm down and shield and come out with like a Hydro and a half. But I thought it would be more valuable to burn that shield. But unfortunately, Cordelia here. Oh, you know what? No, I'm going to force it here. I still have Pokemon. This is the jumping around. This is what I'm talking about. It's like at times you feel like, oh, I misplayed this. I'm stuck. And then all of a sudden, I mean, I still may lose this matchup. We'll see. But then all of a sudden, oh, no, I don't. I remember landing the Hydro on the Corviknight here. I was thinking they were going to catch. They didn't. Land this and then take out the Dedennes. So 3 Dedennes and I took out a couple of them here. But this is what I'm talking about. The jumping around this season is going to be intense. And I will cover it more in depth when I go over the meta. I'm going to put out like a tomorrow, Monday, top meta. And I need to talk about the 4 or 5 second switch timer. Because I think it affects the meta. But more importantly, I think it affects how it's going to hurt players who are not as strong, because the best of the best in the, like, when you want to play Pokemon Championship, the best of the best know instantly. And it's a lot easier when there's 6 Pokemon. You just be like, okay, if you see this Pokemon, I know what I have to do, which is not as easy here. But it's very easy. It's if you don't have a good grasp on like, what do I do if this Pokemon comes in? And then that Pokemon comes in and you just kind of stall for like 5-10 seconds and you let them get energy. Before, it used to take like, in the 60-second timer, it would take like 4 turns to take out to like reset that switch timer. And then when it dropped to 50, it was like 3, sometimes 4. And now at a 45-second timer, depending on how slow you are on the delay, like if you come in 10 to 15 seconds later, it may only take a couple charge moves and then they are going to be able to get out of that matchup and you're going to be on a very decent timer there. So it's definitely something to watch out as you move forward with this season. The 45-second timer will affect Pokemon that you use. I still need to think about it a bit more, and now's not the time. 11 o'clock at night is not the time to think about this, but I do need to put in a little more thought into what Pokemon are stronger because of that 45-second timer. I know the obvious ones are just the ones that can just like charge a bunch, get to like 2 nukes, double nuke, and bail because they're not switch locked as long. So if you like save swap Primeape and you have like a close combat on it or something, you can maybe like threaten multiple close combats. And then by the time you get like your second one off, you can probably jump out depending on how slow they were, right? So I think it's probably those that have nukes are benefiting, but there's got to be others. And I'll think about it a bit more before we put out that video on Monday. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.